way that we reflect the results of the interactions to the student are in what we call a pulse. And what the pulse is ongoing. So one of our other kind of guiding principles is that any results we give back to teachers or students should not be able to be weaponized. They're not going to be a numbering system. It's not red, yellow, green, meaning bad or good. It's not a score. I'm not going to put me or Kelsey on a 0 to 100 as kids. So it's a real challenge on, well, how do you visualize that back to a student then in a way that they can take action or learn about themselves? So the pulse lines, we'll show some of this on screen here, but the pulse lines basically move from a left to a right, and it could be anything from preferences. So it's not even about good or bad or strong or weak. And the idea there is that we're giving students more language to be able to communicate about themselves or where they're at. The world that surrounds them today speaks in very binary language. It's dumb or smart, motivated or lazy. And so if you're somewhere in there that actually has nothing to do with those kind of end labels that have been created, you're going to put yourself into that bucket and become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so the idea here is to help open those doors. So when a student looks at a pulse, they say, hey, maybe I have anxiety, maybe I'm not having anxiety. And then how we communicate that back in the insights is very much about, hey, this is what we think based on what you told us. This is not a label. This is not who you are. Here's some ways that you might be relating to one of these things. And we call them I feel statements. So it may be I feel X or I feel Y, and help pull them back in and then give them information about it. And a lot of times what we talk about in the insights could be the superpowers of it. So, hey, maybe if you're somewhere on that middle scale of anxiety, maybe this is also helping you be able to get your work done faster. So this isn't completely negative. Here's the more negative tendencies that may happen, and here's how you can work through them. But it's really about helping the student relate to where they're at. Now, what's really powerful, again, the proof in the pudding, we ask a question that's completely voluntary in the bottom of all our insights, essentially to the students that says, hey, does this look like your life right now? And we say, this isn't going anywhere. We just want to make sure that we're giving you good content. And the responses that we're getting from that are so, so powerful. Roughly 90% of responses, and I'm talking about hundreds of responses from kids reacting to that, say mostly or somewhat. So the way that we've worked with our educational psychologists and our content team to write these in a relatable way where the kid doesn't feel labeled, put in a corner, boxed in, is showing in the way that they're engaging back with us. So on the teacher side, now the teacher side has a different objective for us, obviously. We really believe that movement comes from engagement between the teacher and student. So this isn't going to be on the teacher side. We're not going to give you a huge list of things you have to go do. This isn't going to be a system of record where you have to put in notes week over week and follow up on them or whatever it may be. Again, our goal isn't to increase work. Our goal is to say, hey, here's some outliers in the classroom. Here's some major things that you may be struggling with in the classroom. Here's some things that are going really well in the classroom that the students are bubbling up. And we'll show that back to the teacher, administrator, or counselor in the same way across these pulse lines. So we allow them to set views where you could say, all right, here's 6 major things that I'm worrying about out of a group of 110 pulses. So, maybe it's anxiety, mood, hunger, sleep, whatever it may be, and come in every day if you want to and see how the students are doing, and be able to hone your general classroom dynamic or even just down to an individual student.